I want to welcome my dear listeners today. Thanks for joining me. Today's episode is a little free form in the sense that I'm going to be answering some of the more common questions I get as a digital marketing professional. In case you didn't know, I have my background. If you've just been listening to me and haven't really checked out my background, I've been doing digital marketing for 20 plus years now in different capacities at different organizations and different agencies in different parts of the country, actually. And over that time period, obviously the internet has evolved. 20 years ago, there was no such thing as TikTok or Instagram. AI was just a figment of people's imagination, obviously. So a lot of things have changed over the years, but certain things have also remained consistent. Some of the questions I get are kind of consistent in some ways, at least over the last 15, 20 years. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to kind of address some of those questions that I get. One of the main ones that I get is how can I improve my website's search engine rankings? So I'm going to talk about that in this episode, talk about what is SEO and how a business like yours could leverage SEO to rank better for your website, right? On search engines. Well, when I was starting my career out, it was like ranking on Yahoo, ranking on Ask Jeeves, Google and things like that, which none of those are around now. Now we live under the world of the Google dictatorship. And then the second one is, how do you measure the success of your digital marketing campaigns? This is a common question. Maybe this question isn't always asked directly. It's asked indirectly, like, it's not working. What's going on? How do I know it's working? That's how it's asked. The third one is, what are the common mistakes that businesses make when it comes to their digital marketing? Like, what should I be doing? What are my competitors doing? Or what are the things that I should not be doing, right? Those are the mistake questions that I get. And then the fourth one, this one's a tough one, has been a tough one for me to answer because of various reasons. But the fourth one is, what are some social media strategies that I should be using? And this one has been a little bit tough one because social media is so vast. And the reason for success are so many. So it's really difficult to answer in a general way, but I'll try to do that. So with that being said, let's get started with this episode where I'll answer the 4 most common digital marketing questions I've received over the last few years. Welcome to the latest episode of Corner Your Market podcast. I'm your host, Sailesh Kimide. In this podcast, I talk about all things digital marketing, from website design and development to SEO and PPC, as well as paid advertising, email marketing, social media, and anything in between. If you're a small business owner, a marketing manager in a company, or an entrepreneur, this podcast is for you. Here you'll gain some practical insights, new strategies, tactics, and tools that will help you grow your business. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel so you can stay up to date on digital marketing. Also, don't forget to like and share each individual episode. I also appreciate hearing from you, so please leave a comment and any feedback you might have. Together, we can take your marketing to the next level. The first one, as I mentioned, is how can I improve my website's search engine rankings? Obviously, there was a time when people would ask me, how do I rank number 1? Or they would ask me, well, I can't find me until third page or something like that. So that was legit. So the main thing that the way that I would approach this question is, in order to rank well, to be honest with you, in order to rank well, you really have to know your business and you have to know your customers. Meaning you have to know what you're really good at and what your customers are searching you for. So even before you start, hiring an SEO guy and trying to figure out what I should do, you really need to take a step back and understand those elements. What are you good at? How would you describe those services in short phrases? What are your main lines of services? What is the more profitable lines of services? And then how would you think your prospect is searching? What are the problems that they might be searching for that would lead them to your website, right? So if you can spend a decent amount of time documenting that, then the SEO process becomes very, very easy. It becomes, I wouldn't say easy, but less effort. Let's just say that, less effort, not as difficult, because the SEO guy is going to do whatever you tell him, right? If you tell him that you want to be ranking for, massage products, but what you're really selling is a like some kind of a retreat, and that's really what you're known for, doesn't really quite go well, right? So you need to have that all put together, and then after that, you can go through and identify 10 to 15 key phrases, not necessarily keywords, but phrases, right, that you could optimize for all of your content, right? So that's the first thing that you need to do. You need to really understand your business. You need to understand your customers. You need to understand the type of questions that they would ask. And then you need to put together the list of keywords that is going to help you get that in front of the Google search engine algorithm and get you to rank. So that's really the way that I answer that. And then a follow-up to that answer would be have a strategy for writing content on a regular basis so that there's new content that is addressing those keywords on a regular basis. That way it doesn't become stale. And if you can do that, the way that we do that in digital marketing is through blogging. So you want to be able to produce blog posts on a regular basis that you can post on your website so that your website is continually indexed for the same 15 or 20 key terms, right? Key phrases on a regular basis and is getting ranked for those. And people are coming with those keywords. And then there's a high visitation, there's a high click-through rate. Google's measuring that. And then how much time they're spending on your website, Google's measuring that as well. And then your authority is going up, right? So, and then as your authority is going up, people are reading your articles and wanting to link to your articles, link to the things that you posted, links to the sections on your website that they might find relative. So now you have backlinks coming in. So as long as it all starts with knowing who you are and knowing your audience and knowing the keywords that are the most valuable to you. Because if you can hit that niche really, really well, then all the other things kind of start coming to you, right? So, and then there's technical things you can do on your website. You got to make sure you're optimized, meaning your description tags, title tags, headline tags, the body copy, the first sentence of your body copy, the first paragraph, all that stuff is optimized for the keywords that you want to be found for, and things like that. So you can do those things, and then you can also make sure that your site loads on, under 2 seconds and things like that. So to answer your question, how do I get my site to rank number 1 or rank really well? You got to know who you are. You got to know the value that you bring to your customers. You got to know your customers and how they search, and you got to have a strategy for putting all the keywords together and also getting it all on your website so that it's indexed well, right? So that's the way that I would answer that. Okay, so the second question is, how do I measure the success of my digital marketing campaign? This is an interesting question. It doesn't get asked directly, but it does get asked indirectly. Indirectly, they'll say things like, well, I've been doing this for 6 months and I don't have any leads, or I don't have any phone calls. What's going on? So what they're really asking is, how are you measuring your campaigns? So there's a lot of ways to measure campaigns, and so I'll give you a couple of them. First of all, you got to have Google Analytics, right? You got to have Google Analytics installed on your website. Well, let me take a step back. You got to have some kind of analytics. Let's not, give credit to our dictator as much more than we need to, right? You could use other products. There are other products available, but it just so happens that we use Google Analytics. So Google Analytics gives you website traffic, like who is coming to your website and how they're interacting with your website. So you got to try to identify what I like to call leading indicators, right? A lead is a lagging indicator. It has already happened. A phone call has already happened. That's a lagging indicator. That tells you what happened yesterday or the day before or the year before or whatever it is. What you want to identify is leading indicators, indicators that point to future phone calls, future clinic appointments, future client engagements, right? So website traffic, engagement, are really good popular pages. Those are indicators of what is potentially happening on your website, right? So if you're getting a steady flow of increased web traffic that is highly engaged, meaning they're spending more than 10 seconds, they're going to more than one page, and that number is increasing, and then you have certain pages that are like anchor pages where a lot of people come in, right? And then you're starting to see clicks, the mobile clicks and engagements on your website go up. Those are leading indicators. Something's happening on your website. People are coming, they're reading, they're learning, they're engaging, they're looking around, they're going to different pages. That's a leading indicator that at some point they're going to pick up the phone and call, right? Or maybe for Gen Z, just hit the click button and call, because picking up the phone implies a physical phone that's sitting on your desk that you pick up and call, right? I don't think we pick up and call anymore. We pick up the phone and push. So the English language needs to evolve to that. Pick up the phone and push or press, right? One that is also a good metric to keep track of is conversion rate. Try to get a sense for how many phone calls you're getting for every 1,000 visitors or something like that. Use some kind of a benchmark way of identifying how to, measure conversion. Google Analytics does this for you automatically. You can set different events as your conversion event. They go to this page, they download this PDF, they make a phone call, they look for directions, whatever they're doing on their website, those are your events. And you can measure the conversion rates, like what percentage of your audience is doing that. And you could try to figure out a way to improve that over a long period of time, over a period of time, not a long period of time. And then the other one that you really want to measure is cost per acquisition. So let's say you did get a client. So let's say you're spending a lot of money on SEO and you got 10 clients. Look at the revenue generated by those clients and see what your rough, cost per acquisition might be. How much did it cost you to get that client? You can have intermediate measurements, cost per lead. How much did the lead cost? How much did it cost for them to become a client? What is the click cost? So this becomes more relevant when you're doing like more paid advertisements and things like that, but still relevant even when you're doing SEO and some of these other things online, right? So then based on the cost of acquisition and things like that, you can do a calculation to figure out the ROI, the return on investment. Now, huge caveat. It's not always linear, right? People that search on their mobile might call through the desktop. People might do all their research on an iPad and then go on a desktop and just call the number they found on the website, right? So, they might have seen a television ad, gone to the website, and then done the phone call. Or they might have called directly from the phone call. There's lots of ways people use the internet and TV, how they're influenced by TV and radio and things like that. So there's still, you might come up with a metric that says you're not getting an ROI, but I don't think that you're going to go out there and turn off your website because you're not getting an ROI that you can measure, right? Because there's still value there based on the fact that people are reading your information, they're becoming aware of it. Maybe they don't buy today, maybe they'll buy in a year, whatever the situation is. I think what you have to do is figure out an ROI percentage that is decent and something that you can live with the understanding that you're going to try to keep getting that better and better over time. So if you have that kind of strategy when it comes to digital marketing, then I think you have the right measurement things in place. And I think that should give you the type of measurements that you need to get, right? So lots of tools, like I said earlier, Google Analytics, Hootsuite, Insights for social media, SEMrush for SEO, HubSpot for CRM and all that kind of stuff. So, okay. The third question is, what are some common mistakes that businesses make with their digital marketing? Like I said, I'll go into this a little bit more, so don't take offense if I offend you. But some of the most common mistakes that I see is not even related to digital marketing per se. It's not having a clear digital marketing strategy. What is your strategy? Like, what are you trying to do? How are you going to use digital marketing to grow your business? Like, what is the plan here? Is the plan do whatever the competition is doing? Is that the plan? Or is the plan boss went to a conference and saw this guy talk about some really interesting widget and now he wants to do it? Is that the plan? Or is the plan, the partner's wife is a digital marketing, graphic artist and now we got to do digital marketing, right? What is the plan? What is the strategy here? I think that's where I see a lot of people failing, to be honest with you. They don't really have a clear strategy. They don't know what to measure, how to measure, and all that kind of stuff. The second thing is not defining their target audience. Again, I told you, most of the reasons why digital marketing doesn't work is not because of digital marketing. It's because people don't know their audience. I mean, who are they trying to go after? Like a lot of times I'll talk to people and the worst answer is everybody. Really? I think the only company that can say that their audience is everybody is water companies, people selling water, utilities. Everybody's a customer for water. Everybody's a customer for electricity, right? But for your legal services, not everybody. For your vitamin store, not everybody. For your psychiatric services, not everybody. Sure, everybody could use it. Sure, but not everybody is going to. And if you try to keep it broad, you're going to fall flat. So spend some time defining your target audience. That way we can design digital marketing strategies that will reach that audience. And if it's the right audience, you're going to get a return. The other mistake, most common mistake, is mobile optimization. I see a lot of businesses not do mobile optimization. With more and more people accessing the internet on their mobile devices, I think the global number is 70%, I believe. 70% of the internet traffic online, internet traffic is mobile, I believe. It's 50% in the US, I believe. It's a little slightly lower number because I think there's huge chunks of India, China, Asia that skipped from desktop and went straight to mobile. And then in certain categories, like if you're trying to market something to like the 18 to 22 crowd, I would think it's 90% mobile. So you need to make sure that your business is mobile optimized. You can do stuff on mobile. Order. How does it look on mobile? How does it feel on mobile? What are the requirements? How does it look? This whole experience on mobile is very, very important. The other mistake that I see people make is not focusing on SEO. I think there's a certain chunk of people that maybe got burned with SEO at some point and decided that they're not going to focus on it. I do come across people like that. Not a lot of people, but I do see people come across. And another one on the flip side is over-focusing on social media. If you're selling, if you're selling dentures, just an example that just popped into my head. If you're selling dentures, I don't know what kind of social media strategy you need to have, because a lot of people on social media are under 35 years old. A lot of engagement in the lower, in the younger age group. There are older age groups that have that, but if you're trying to market dentures and you are spending 70% of your marketing on social media, I don't know, man. I don't know what you're thinking there. Maybe it'll work. Never say never, but I don't know. So don't overemphasize social media. Also, I'm going to talk about this in more detail because that's the fourth question I get. So we'll leave it at that. One of the big mistakes is neglecting metrics. What are you going to measure? I talked about that already in the second point, so I won't go into that too much. But neglecting email marketing is one that I see a lot of people make mistakes on. They haven't even thought of email marketing because they have all these emails. For some reason, their business is just naturally inclined to having people give them emails. I'm talking about veterinary clinics, dental clinics. People give you their email addresses, and they haven't done anything with it. There's no strategy behind it. So that's another one. Not creating engaging content is one as well. And then not considering paid advertising when it makes sense. Ignoring customer feedback. I'm going a little quick because I've got a lot to cover. And then failing to optimize for local search. Neglecting video marketing. Another one is not having a clear call to action failing to test and optimize campaigns. So those are the mistakes. So that's a lot of answers to the question, what are some common mistakes that businesses make with their digital marketing? So if I were to summarize, what are the common mistakes that businesses make with their digital marketing? I would say in rapid fire, I would say neglecting mobile optimization, not having a strategy, not thinking about their audience, not tracking metrics, not doing email marketing, not considering paid advertising, and then not doing local search. So, and then not having a clear call to action as well falls into that as well. Okay, so the last question is, what are some effective social media marketing strategies? This one's a tough one because in the beginning, meaning 2006-ish timeframe, 2005, 2006-ish timeframe, when social media was in its upswing, I thought digital marketing was just going to get swamped by social marketing, and social media marketing was where it's at. I went to a bunch of social media conferences, bought a book, started even a blog on social media and things like that. And all of a sudden, like in 2012, 2013, I started to realize that social media is more of a domain for creative, artistic things. And that's the ones, entertainment gets a lot more traction on social media than education, right? Or promotion. So entertainment is huge on social media. Education, I think, trails it by quite a bit, but promotion just is out in the dust, right? So when it comes to a business, in terms of a good strategy, unless you're in the entertainment business and you can create entertaining videos that can go viral, you can tell jokes, you can dance, you can do all kinds of stuff. It's really challenging to get social media traction these days. Maybe on YouTube you can do some, but entertainment is challenging. Education, if you can find a way to educate your audience on social media, it can be a really effective strategy. But the problem that I find with small businesses is it's really hard to localize it, right? It's really hard to penetrate the local market with educational social media videos that go viral, right? So it might go viral, but getting a ton of visitors from Florida when you're in North Dakota for veterinary clinic information, is that traffic? Okay, you got 1 million views. So what? Right? Are they never going to come to your vet clinic? Are they going to fly from Florida to North Dakota to show their pet to you? No. So social media is very, very, to me, it's one of those things that over the years, I have kind of left it behind for my clients for the most part. The only time where it becomes relevant is if they're wanting to do an education-based social media strategy or a promotions-based social media strategy. They want to focus on maybe long-form videos on YouTube and shorts, and then some on Instagram and some on TikTok. But in terms of like a small business being able to use social media to really effectively gain traction in their local market, I just don't know if that's a good strategy. Now, social media gets a lot of hype because big brands use it, right? Bud Light uses it. Coors uses it. Nike uses it, but that's not our business, right? We're not multi-billion-dollar companies with multi-billion-dollar marketing budgets. We're small companies, small businesses in the neighborhood, trying to reach the neighborhood, trying to reach maybe a city of 100,000, 200,000 people with our service, right? So that's why I try to keep social media in a little bit of a cautionary tale and try to keep it in perspective and try to keep it within the bounds of what it can do and what it can do for certain types of businesses. But it's definitely not a strategy that I have found, especially if you're not in the entertainment business, as a strategy that has really been able to add to the bottom line for my clients. So I'm just being transparent with you. I'm not poo-pooing it. Maybe somebody's done it well. Maybe it can be done really well. I'm just not the guy to do it, but I want to be transparent with you on that one too. So with that, today I covered 4 questions that I typically get. I answered your questions on how to improve your website search engine ranking. I answered your question on how to measure the success of your digital marketing. I also answered the common mistakes that businesses make when it comes to their digital marketing. And I also tried to answer, or at least gave you my opinion on effective social media marketing strategies for a business like yours. So with that, thank you for listening. Happy marketing. Drop me a line if you have any questions or any feedback. Happy to answer those. And with that, I say happy marketing to you and your business.